what's going on, everyone? Before we get into our conversation, I want to let you know this podcast is sponsored by BetRivers.com. BetRivers.com, the best place for all your sports gambling needs. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You can also watch all of these episodes on the Field of 68 YouTube channel. Now, let's get into our conversation. What's going on, everyone? I'm Eric Devendorf, your host of the Scorers Table podcast, and tonight we have on another great guest. Our guest tonight is part of the spectacular freshman class this year at Syracuse University. 6'9", power forward, small forward, versatile. He could guard on the perimeter. He can guard the bigs. He's done a great job this year, improving early on. Didn't play a lot, but now he worked his way up, got the opportunity, and now he's starting. We appreciate you coming on, my guy Maliq Brown. What's up, man?
What's up? Appreciate you for having me. Thank you.
Oh, all good, man. So let's start. I want to start back home in Virginia. You're from Culpeper, Virginia. You come from an athletic family. Your mom and dad, they both play ball. I think your dad played football as well. Your brother and sister, they played ball. I think your brother played football as well. So yeah, a lot of athletes in the family. Just kind of talk about growing up in Culpeper, what that was like. What the competition was like between your brother and your sisters and those backyard battles, and how you got interested in basketball.
Yeah, definitely. Just growing up, especially with my dad, my mother, my brother, and having older cousins, just knowing that sports was definitely going to be something that was a part of my future. Not knowing what it was going to be between basketball and football, because I fell in love with both sports at the same time growing up. And I guess it just carried on from there. Just knowing that I was pretty good at both sports growing up, and just knowing that I was pretty good and had a good talent for both of those sports, I just tried to carry it on as long as I could.
So talk about Culpeper a little bit. What type of town is Culpeper? Is it small, big, medium size? Was there a lot of competition growing up and playing sports? What was that like for you?
Yeah, Culpeper is definitely a small town. For people that's outside of Culpeper, but living inside Culpeper, you would probably think it's like medium size or whatever. But outside of Culpeper, like if you don't know, nobody really knows about it. So it's definitely like pretty small. But sports wise, it was definitely always a lot of talent growing up. From pretty much any sport there was, just all different age groups. Just knowing that there was a lot of talent growing up. So it was definitely fun, and it definitely kept me occupied just playing in both sports growing up. It was definitely a lot of talent.
So what age do you think, that you really started get interested in football and basketball? Was that at a young age?
Yes, it was. I believe, I'm not sure how old I was, but I definitely was engaged with football before I was with basketball. I knew I played both sports like back to back, like within the 2 years or something. But football is definitely the first sport that I was definitely locked into, just trying to like know more about football than it was basketball. Then once I seen that my brother and all my other cousins and stuff was playing basketball, then I was like, I guess I'll try it and stuff. And it was just like during the summer, I always seen them outside. Like everybody was always playing basketball during the summer, so it was like basketball was something that was just like for me definitely to pick up on. It was like I had no other choice but to like, it was just right in front of me. So I just paid attention to it and just learned the game, developed it, and just brought it on as I was playing football.
So talk about your dad a little bit, because I did a little research on him, and he's kind of a legend. Back in your hometown. I think he played basketball and he played football as well, right?
Yeah. My dad, he was definitely one of the legends in my town. He played basketball and football. He was very known, like very good known as a basketball player, but he definitely broke a lot of records playing football too. So just not knowing at first when I was growing up, when I was younger, as how good he was at football, I knew he was good at basketball. But as I got older, like going into my high school years, just knowing that he was as good as he was in basketball and football, like breaking records and stuff, it was definitely encouraged me to play football longer than what I was, not within what I was expected to, but definitely played it longer, just trying to follow his footsteps in a similar way and just show him that I was also good at football too.
So what was that like growing up for you though? Because you talked about he's a legend in the town, and I'm sure there were some expectations on yourself and your brother, and possibly even your sister, because your mom was a good basketball player. So was that kind of hard for you growing up with those expectations on you, with everybody in the family, being a high level athlete?
Um, it wasn't really no challenge on me. Just knowing that I had a good family, good background. Just knowing that it was pretty much set for me just to stay focused and just it was already set in tone for me. Just staying focused, just doing everything that I see my family doing and my friends doing. So I just fell in line and just picked up from what they had left behind and just carried it on, and just knowing the people that I had in my corners and stuff just encouraged me the whole way. So just it definitely developed me to being a better person I am today and a better player.
Now take me back to some of those summers, man, because I know you guys had some competitive moments, you and your brother and your sister, or maybe even your pops and moms hopped in sometimes. Was there ever a particular summer or a particular moment, where you got sick of either losing, or maybe you were the one kind of, handing out the bruises? So, what were those summers like, battling with your family in that backyard and on that football field?
Definitely. I don't know. It was when I was definitely younger. Just the summers when football. I was really like locked into football. Just knowing that I was faster than everybody in my family, just running up and down the fields and stuff. So being in the backyard, just knowing that I was faster than everybody, and then I see them all like when we playing basketball or having family, everybody come over the house. Just knowing that our whole court was just filled up with just everybody playing basketball, from kids that was teenagers to people that was 50 years old, 40 years old. Everybody was just outside playing basketball. So it was very competitive from young age to a high age. Just everybody was out there just hooping. So um after I realized like you really couldn't like play football like in a competitive way outside of like in a real game, besides like like you couldn't really, our parents wasn't gonna let us tackle and stuff like that unless it was just me and
Yeah.
my brother. But like cousin wise, everybody had like different rules and stuff. So once I seen everybody like playing together as basketball, it was definitely something for me to like be encouraged to and just learn more about the game.
Now, was there any trash talking between big bro and little bro, or big sis or mom and dad? Did they? I know they brought it out sometimes.
Uh yeah, definitely. Most of the time most of the trash talking was between me and my brother sometimes, but when we were younger, we used to, it was probably not even a day that went by that we didn't either fight or argue, or somebody was going in the house mad and we didn't talk to each other for like probably like 2 hours, and then we was back at it again. We do that probably, especially during the summer, from going outside starting at like 11 o'clock or whatever, 10 o'clock, just doing that repeatedly during the whole day, just back to back. And then once my sister got to a certain age where I knew like growing up, she was already like I believe she was ahead of her age, just knowing that like the mindset she has and stuff, just knowing that she has like uh a crazy mentality for a young female in this world. So just knowing that she knows a lot about the game. Definitely she probably definitely does know more about the game than I did at her age. So just knowing that she picked up very fast than what I expected to on the game, and the trash talking, it was just like me and my brother didn't trash. We trash talked a lot, but not like at the age. But my sister, she's like she got it. Like we trash. Me and her trash talk more like after I have a bad game or something. She tells me like good luck and stuff. I tell her good luck, but then like she'll FaceTime me or I'll FaceTime them and she'll be like you did this wrong or you need to do this.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't, you wouldn't think that coming from a freshman female in high school, like knowing like
Okay.
this, like you gotta do this in the zone or whatever. Like she just knows too much, so it's definitely something like crazy.
So where you got more of like a calm demeanor, and I guess a little bit
Mhm.
more quiet. You're not really,
Yeah.
as far as what I can see. I mean, you probably got some outgoing, but you're more calm and laid back. Where does that come from? Is that from your mom or your dad?
Um, it's definitely from my mom. My dad, I mean, both sides of my mom and my dad, they're both calm, laid back. But my dad's more like he's definitely gonna let you know about it. My mom's gonna be like, she's quiet too, but she's also like, she's way like chill and laid back too. So I guess I got it from my mom.
Because me, bro, like me growing up, I'm talking big shit. Like I just that was me. Like I was one of the kids who I was always playing with older kids, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and bigger kids. So they were already talking to me, you know, that type of way. So it was just kind of instilled in me. But that's a part of the game. So I figured like
Yeah.
y'all growing up, y'all arguing over like the type of family I see y'all competing over like a card game or like you know, checkers or chess.
Yeah.
That's I think it was instilled you from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt, no doubt. So talk about your football journey a little bit, bro. You know, because you talked about football was kind of your first love, and I know I read up a little bit on it. Talk about you know, you had the potential to be a NFL quarterback. You know, so you know, kind of talk about that journey early on with the football, and then how you know, transitioned to the basketball and how that happened.
Just growing up playing football, just knowing that uh in my county, just knowing that I had cousins and my brother and them from the earlier like higher age groups, they were very good at football, and being around them all the time because I used to like hanging with my brother. He's older than me, so I'm hanging out with like uh age groups that was like 4 years older than me or whatever. So just knowing that the age groups was older than me, so obviously like they're bigger, stronger and stuff. So they always like um just definitely like pushed me even harder than what I did for myself and encouraged me just outside always working out, playing together, just never like letting it being like treating it easy for me and stuff, just always, you know, trying their hardest and stuff. So playing football was just like something that was like them like they could like I could take my anger out of or like just show my aggressiveness because when we was always together it was something like everybody was like free for all. It was like this was a time like you could actually like hit somebody or something.
Yeah.
So we'd be in our basement or something and it'd be like we like it's on a carpet, so everybody's tackling or something. So it was just like from there on, it was just like something that I was like, all right, now that I know like I could get hit by people that's 4 years older than me, I definitely could get hit by somebody that's my same age, or if I'm outrunning people that's three years older than me, that they're making a lot of name in the league, that they're in the league that's higher than me, then I know I can make a name for myself in my own league. So just knowing that, and then as I started playing football growing up, I started breaking a lot of like records in my town, and just everybody started talking about it, how good of a football player I was. So once I realized like actually how good I was, I just started like working out a lot. I used to only work out with my dad, so it was just like, you know, so I wanted to get like a better, like not a better perspective, but more eyes on like the game and stuff, so different perspectives. So
Mm-hmm.
I was working out with my dad, then I started working out with my uncle and stuff. So I'm working out with my uncle, then I have my another cousin that's a trainer. So I'm working out with like 3 different people just growing up. And then after that, playing for like middle school team and stuff. And then I had joined this travel team. So now I'm on an AU team, and I believe I was in middle school, so I was traveling like Tuesdays or Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, or Monday, Wednesdays, and I believe Friday and Sundays or something to Maryland. So that's like a 3 hour and a half drive for me. And I was making that drive from like after practice when I had before practice at my own middle school, and I would have to make that drive from there and go straight. My dad was taking me from there to travel with football, and it was definitely something that prepared me, but it was definitely a lot because I was also having like basketball workouts from like Tuesdays and Thursdays. So every day of the week I was doing something, and my practices on for football for travel football, it was like it started at like 8:30 and it was going to like 11. So that's a 3 hour drive, 3.5 hour drive. So my dad was making that sacrifice to drive me there all the way to Maryland after he would work, and he was also my middle school coach. So he would go from work to then come to be our he would coach our football team from middle school, and then he would drive me all the way to Maryland, which was a 3.5 hour drive, and then watch me practice there. And then I have to come all the way back home, shower, be like 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning, and then I'm waking up the next morning at 6:45 to catch the bus to go to school. So it was definitely something that I didn't think I was gonna be able to get used to, but it definitely prepared me.
And then, we talked about before we got on here, you had some injuries that really kind of transitioned you, I guess, into basketball. Talk about those injuries, and then the decision. Probably ultimately it was you, but I'm sure your parents had a big influence on your decision to play basketball as well. So kind of talk about how that happened, and then how you really started to lock in on basketball just being your main sport.
Well, beginning of my eighth grade year, not the beginning, but towards basketball season, my legs and stuff was wearing out. Like, it was definitely like my knees. I was having pains and stuff, like, in my knees very often. Obviously, I knew it was probably because I was doing too much, and my doctors had said something about they were looking at my knees and saying that my something about my bones and stuff was wearing off or something, because it was like I was doing too much movement or something. And I was growing a lot too at the same time, so it was like I wasn't giving my bones enough time to like manage and stuff. So I believe it was, I don't know if it was a scrimmage or my first game, but I'm pretty sure it was a scrimmage. But our first scrimmage from my eighth grade year of basketball, I was in layup lines, and I had went up for I was going up for a dunk, but before I even, like, when I was taking off, I had jumped in the air and I had felt my leg just like separate.
Oh
But
man.
I thought it was like this. I thought it was like a cramp, or I dislocated it. So I had tried to jog it off a little bit, but I couldn't feel anything. So then I had sat down, and my dad told me to. My dad was just like, my dad was also my basketball coach too for middle school, so he was just telling me like to sit down. It was just like, just sit down or whatever. Don't like push or anything. It's just a scrimmage. Like, so we was just in layup lines. Like, it was, I literally started. I was the first person to go off for layup lines too. So he was just like, just sit. He was like, just sit down. Like, I was breathing hard and everything. So he was just like, tell me to calm down. And then I was just sitting there, and I see my leg just like, it was just like exploding, like it was just blowing up, like swelling and everything. It just went up in like probably like 2 minutes. Like, my leg was like, looked like a balloon. Like, my whole kneecap, everything was just swelled up from my kneecap all the way down to like my shin. It was just all swelled up. And I was over there trying to like stand up and like move it around, thinking it was just like a cramp or like it was dislocated. So then I went to a doctor and they said it was broke. So then I had sat out the whole season. I came back kind of, but I was doing a lot of therapy, and I could have came back, but my parents didn't want me to like force it or try like force it, but I wanted to, but I could. They didn't want to let me. But after that,
It's being good parents.
yeah. But after that, just going into my freshman year of high school, once I started coming back, I started playing. I was still playing both now, so I had got hurt my freshman year on my shoulder. I had caught like a deep pass, and I had came down like smacked on my shoulder, and I tore like a ligament in my shoulder, and I was out for a little bit, and then I came back, and like towards like the middle, beginning or whatever of basketball season. So I was kind of disappointed in that, and then going from there from my high school, then my sophomore year came, and I had caught another touchdown. I had caught a pass and I scored, and I had came down on my leg, and my I hyperextended it. So then after that, I sat out for a little bit. So I was doing a lot of therapy to get my legs back, and then I missed out until like Thanksgiving or something for basketball. And then I decided that I told my mom, and them, I was like, I definitely heard it like growing up, because after I broke my leg in my eighth grade year, I grew like 4 or 5 inches before I even started jogging again. Like, going from my eighth grade year to my freshman year, I was like 6'1" or something. And then by the time I started, like, I was fully back to like jogging, and like I was getting clear off the brace and everything, I was like 6'5.5", 6'6". So that was before I could do anything. Like, I was just like shooting the ball with crutches on like both sides of my arms, just shooting form shots and stuff. So it was like nothing that I was like used to or anything. So when I came back and then I just started working out and training for football again, I didn't realize how tall I was, and then everybody started talking about it. So then I was just like not listening to nobody, just not letting nobody like change my decision, still going to do what I wanted to do. So, and then once I realized I was like getting too tall and like whatever, I was just like, I think it was like time for me to hang it up. So I decided to hang it up, and then towards like after my sophomore year of high school, I just transitioned to just staying in the basketball.
Because you were a high level athlete, bro. You played basketball, football, and you did track. What did you end up doing in track? What events? Because my oldest daughter, she's big time into track. So
Yeah.
what was your
I,
events?
I did the 4x4. I mean the 4x1, the 100. I did the 200 a couple of times, but it was always just the 4x1 and the 100 meter. That's the only thing that really ran.
No long jump.
Nah, I wasn't really doing that. I was just yeah, just doing that speed stuff.
So you couldn't see yourself being a 6'9" QB. That just wasn't working out for you. So because I thought it was at first I thought it was the injuries that stopped you, but now that you talking, it's more you got to be 6'8", 6'9". You like, all right, well, fuck it. I guess I got to hoop, man.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I definitely thought about being like. I was just thinking like having conversations with my family and stuff, and just be like, they definitely seen the talent and stuff in me. I seen it in myself, just knowing that I could be a quarterback and a wide receiver. Because at that point in my high school, I was playing both. Like I was going back and forth with quarterback and wide receiver, and I was playing both sides of the field, like defense too, safety and corner. So it was just before that I wasn't 6'9" yet, but I was 6'5", 6'6". So it was just like I was just like
That's a
knowing
big
that,
quarterback,
yeah,
regardless.
I was just like I definitely before that it wasn't even the height. It was just that I wanted to play both sports going up like all the way to my senior year. I didn't want to like sacrifice just one sport. But I kept getting hurt in football, so I was just like, I don't want to keep getting hurt in football and then limiting my chances for basketball and not knowing what my future could be. And then whatever that happens. And then our football season was kind of like from my high school was like slimming down. So it was just like I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to just go back and forth like I've been doing like from middle school going from workout to workout and then traveling. So it was just like my dad was telling me and stuff like I was dedicated to both sports like so much that I needed to like just not just be dedicated to one, but work out and stuff as much as I can with one sport, so I could just go further in it instead of trying to limit myself to both sports and just find time in my schedule, knowing that I had a busy schedule. Just try to find time and just try to work out for both sports and stuff. So I definitely listened to my family with that. And made my own decision to not like play football and just stick to basketball and just I definitely was in love with both sports and then as basketball I just kept going with it and just stuck with it.
Yeah, so you went to high school at Blue Ridge, right? And you talked about playing all three sports till your sophomore year when you ended up just going to basketball. But your 4 years, all 4 years, you guys won the Division II championship every single year since your freshman year. Talk about your experience, your coach at Blue Ridge and how he really helped prepare you, for the college level.
My experience at Blue Ridge was definitely something that I didn't not that I didn't see, but something that I didn't think it was gonna turn out to be the way it did. Going in there as my freshman year, obviously I was still playing football and basketball, so not knowing what I wanted to do. I believe my freshman year I played three or two JV games. I was playing both JV and varsity, and then I had my last JV game or whatever. I had a really good game, and my coach told me that I wasn't gonna play JV no more, and he told me that I was just gonna stay on varsity. And I had played in the JV game my freshman year, and I played like the whole JV game, and it was a big game, and I was playing some of my AU teammates and stuff. So I was playing that whole game, and we won. And then I was like definitely tired because the drilling and everything, just playing just like some of my AU teammates and stuff at their place too. So it was definitely kind of draining for me. And then going to the locker room, just knowing that like the first couple games, I didn't even like get on the court for the varsity team. So just I was in the locker room, and he told me that that after the game was over, he told me I wasn't gonna be playing JV no more, and I was like, just confused like why he said that. I was low-key disappointed because I was like, if I'm not playing varsity, why you pulling me from JV? And when I came from the after the game was over, we came in warm-ups, and I was on warm-ups with the varsity team, and then it was like
So hold on, you went from JV game and then you played right into the varsity.
Yeah, because you know how like they have double hitters.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
So after the game was over, I'm in the locker room with the varsity, and they're going over the game plan. So I'm just sitting there like I'm listening, but I'm not really listening because it's like I don't have nothing to do with this. Like I was just like I'm not gonna get in or whatever. I just played the whole JV game.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there. So we come out, and he told me, he was like, I hope you have fun, blah blah blah. That was your last game, whatever. And then I was just like confused, but I didn't say anything. I was just confused, like why he said that. And then we're in layup lines. And then after the game had started, he came down the bench and told me to sub in. And it was the first quarter, and I was just like, the first 2 games I went from not subbing in at all, and then you just subbed me in the first quarter. So I definitely was nervous about that. And then as that went on, I was just I started playing, not a lot, but I started playing it. Started getting the game a lot, especially after like the first half. I was like probably the first or second person off the bench in the second half. So after that, just going in from my freshman year, and then sophomore year, I believe I didn't start because of my that's when I got hurt again for football. When I was coming in, I didn't come back until like Thanksgiving. So when I came back after we was working out and had practice over Thanksgiving break, I believe I don't know if I earned my spot the first game back from Thanksgiving or before. It was either before or after, but after that, I started starting, and then from there on, it was just for my sophomore year, I just started I started every game, and then it just went on from there.
So tell me if I'm wrong, but I mean, playing all those sports, maybe people didn't really look at you in basketball as a highly rated. They knew you could play, but you were always kind of under the radar. You know what I mean? You had stats. You guys were winning a lot of games, but maybe you were the guy who wasn't doing all the fancy, dribbling and doing all that. You're a guy who did like everything on the floor. At what point in your high school career did you know that you could have a lot of success playing that way, and that colleges were going to recruit you if you could sustain that type of play that you were doing?
Definitely. I'm not sure. Definitely, probably my sophomore year. I mean, I came in from having a great freshman year of AU.
Team loaded.
Yeah, with team loaded my freshman year when me and Justin was on the same team.
Yeah.
I believe I picked up 3 big offers, and then going into my sophomore year, just carried it on. So just once I realized that it was something that like definitely once I got scholarships, it definitely was a lot of momentum that carried on, and just my workouts definitely started happening more. Like I started having more like 2-a-day workouts, or workouts in the earlier during the day and then later during the day, and just not just working out on just like jump shots and stuff, like actually like developing my game more, like than just just going in the gym and just getting on the gun and just shooting. Actually like going in gym, working on my own passes, like using this thing we used to have, like this self-pass thing, my shot form, free throws, everything. Just I started working on my own game, and just knowing that it wasn't something that, because most of the time I was just going in the gym just getting shots up, or just like putting shots up, not really actually like working out like live game situations. So once I realized that it was something that I needed to do, I started doing that, and it just carried on.
And just for me, from watching you now, bro, I think a lot of the stuff that you have is stuff that you really even can't work on. You know what I mean? Like as far as, how you move, your motor, how you're active, your versatility, your length and athleticism. Like you got a lot of that God-given ability, and obviously, a lot of it is handed down from your parents. So I think, those attributes that you have, I don't know if you realize that early on, but after those, I guess, first scholarships that you're received, did you start to notice those things a little bit more in yourself? You talked about working on your shot and the skill work and stuff, but after you started to get those offers after your freshman year of AAU, or your freshman summer of AAU, was
Mhm.
that something that you said that you like, all right, I'm going to do this a little bit more. I'm going to make sure I could bring that energy. I'm going to show them that I could, guard guards on the
Yep.
perimeter and be versatile. Is that something that the coaches really, I guess, reminded you of, that, hey, this is something that you can really excel at, and that a lot of people, they don't have those type of things?
Yeah, definitely. Especially it started off definitely with my dad. Just knowing that he used to tell me, because obviously when I was before I got to my sophomore year, I was a guard. So just before I got to 6'5" or whatever I was my sophomore year, just knowing that I was a guard at one point. So guarding the guards, it was like already what I was doing. So he was just telling me in my head, like, yeah, you might be guarding like a 4 or whatever right now, or a 5 or whatever, but don't forget, like, you still can guard a guard, or you still can guard a shooting guard or whatever, or the best player on the other team. You still can guard that person. So take that personally, and just go out and try to make that matchup, and just go after that person, or stop that person from scoring or having his best game or whatever. Just doing that. So definitely, like, my sophomore year and stuff, going into high school and stuff, I definitely started taking that more like personal. Definitely on defensive end, just knowing I had teammates, I had a good team, and just knowing who was going to score. I definitely was like, my sophomore year, I was guarding the team's best player always, and just knowing that I was definitely going to get that matchup, and just taking that matchup personally, and just knowing that I was going to hold that person less than what he's thinking he was going to score, or whatever he was supposed to score. Just taking that matchup personally, and just keep him under what he was supposed to get.
What
So
when do you think the recruitment really started to heat up for you? I know you said you got scholarships after going into your sophomore year, but when did the high levels really start coming in? When did Q started coming into the picture? I know maybe that was a little bit later, but what were the first, I guess, high level schools that really started to get on you?
I believe it was my sophomore. It was towards my end of my sophomore year, and or yeah, from my freshman year after AU, it was definitely a lot. And then it stopped a little bit, and then from my sophomore year to like the end of my junior years of my junior year, because we didn't have AU in my junior year.
Yeah, COVID.
Or
Yeah.
so actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure we didn't, but my junior, it's something like that. My junior year or something, but it stopped, and then that's when Syracuse and stuff had offered me. So then that's when it picked up, low key picked up again.
So after Q's came into the picture, that's when the other high levels started to come in and try to recruit you.
Yeah, I had already got recruited by some high levels, and then it was like, I believe, like a 2-week span or whatever. It was a couple of schools, and then Q's had offered me, and then a couple other schools had offered me after that. So then it was that after that, it stopped right there.
So you mentioned earlier, you played with Justin Taylor, and I know you guys, grew up together. I think when did you guys meet in middle school?
Definitely, yeah, middle school.
Middle school. So, your decision to go to Syracuse was, with Justin Taylor, with Justin going there, was that a big, I guess, thing for you, him going, and that kind of helped you, decide going to Cuse, or was there something else that helped you decide?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Justin was definitely one of the reasons why I came here. Just knowing that I already had good chemistry with him. And then playing with other people on the team, like the freshman wise. I already played with Quadir Copeland and camps and stuff. And then I also played with him. We was on the me, him, and Justin was in the same camp. And then me and Quadir was on the same team at a camp for like, I believe it was 2-3 days or whatever. We was on the same team, and it was crazy because GMAC was watching our camp, because we was all getting recruited at the same time. But me and Q was on the same team, and not even knowing that he was coming here, because he didn't even commit yet. But just knowing that me and him was on the same team, and we built chemistry, and then I played against Claudia a lot during the AU circuit. So after that, and then Judah, I played against Judah in the AU circuit, and I was at the same camps and stuff with him. So just knowing how they played him, their games and stuff, and then I played Judah again also at Oak Hill my senior year. So just knowing that the people like going in my freshman class just coming to Syracuse, it was definitely something that I was looking forward to. Just 3 people that I already had chemistry with and playing with already. I was definitely looking forward to furthering my next future around somebody that I could already have chemistry with instead of trying to go somewhere and just try to build as much chemistry as I can. Already coming into a program where I was welcomed by all the coaching staff, everybody here, the players, just knowing that it was something that I was definitely looking forward to, and then especially the freshman class that was coming too. So
yeah, so you're familiar with those guys coming in. You came on your visit. The coaches made you feel good. They made you feel welcome. And speaking of the coaches, what was your first experience like? Meeting Coach Boeheim. What was that like for you?
Definitely. Just once I got offered, I definitely heard about it all the time. Like, oh, you got offered by Syracuse. That's Coach Boeheim and everything. So after that had died down a little bit once I announced that I was taking my visit. When I came on my visit, I didn't realize how big Coach Boeheim was. I mean, I did, but not really until once I got up here and just knowing the environment, because nobody really knows how big, or I mean you do, but not really until you really get to Syracuse. You see how
no doubt. Yeah.
how special GMAC is and Coach Boeheim, everything it's very crazy up here once you get up here. So
Yeah.
once I got up here, it was just it was definitely a whole different perspective, and it was just it was dang, I didn't know he was I didn't know he was like that. So it was just I got up here and it was just damn, he's he crazy. So once I got back home, it was just I was just talking with my family and stuff. On the way back home, on the flight, we was just talking, and then once I got back home, it was just my whole family was at the house and was just talking about how the visit was, and it was just this happened, and how Coach Boeheim was this and this and that, and this how he ran the practice and everything. It was just he was really a legendary coach at our practice. I went to eat with him and everything, so it was just it was just something like a dream come true.
Yeah, a dope experience, especially for a young kid being able to meet a Hall of Famer, and then eventually, hey, this is going to be the guy that I'm learning for the next 2, 3, 4 years. Who knows how many years. So we talked about you were kind of, I guess, I don't want to say an under the radar guy, but some of those freshmen coming in with you in the class, they had higher expectations, I guess we could say, right? We didn't really, we knew who you were, but Judah had the hype, and you had Justin, he was coming in, and other guys. What expectations did you have for yourself though coming into Syracuse? Because forget what everyone else says, forget about the rankings. We all know how that could be. Sometimes that's just fugazi. That stuff is just hearsay or whatever. So what expectations did you have for yourself? I know you believe in yourself. I know you're a big time athlete. What did you feel that you could really come in here and add to that Syracuse team?
Yeah, definitely. Just knowing that once I got here, it was just gonna be stick to what I've been doing my whole basketball career. Just nothing changed. Obviously going from man a lot in high school and stuff, but going into zone, it was just definitely something that I was gonna have to learn and pick up on. So other than that, just adjusting to everything else was pretty fine for me. Just knowing that obviously I got to rebound and just be effective around the rim, aggressive and stuff. So knowing that I could remain the same how I was in high school, just keep playing my game as that, nothing different really. Just I don't know, just knowing that I definitely had the mindset already coming in, just I was definitely going to try my hardest, work my hardest, and just keep developing my game each and every time I could. So just knowing that I could do that, especially with Coach Red being my group coach and stuff. So just knowing that he's definitely been pushing me since I got here during the summer, and workouts and off the court, everything. So just knowing he's been a good mentor, and it's definitely something that I knew I was going to be able to keep develop my game with and a better person overall. So once I knew I was doing that, it's just definitely something different.
So coming in, you had the summer, you come in, you do the workouts with Cabillas, you had the preseason, and you talked about watching, with the fam on the visit, the practices and seeing how Coach Boeheim runs it. But now you're in it, you know what I'm saying? Now you're in the practice, you know what I'm saying? So you have that first practice, the second, a week goes by, a month goes by. What did you really learn, from Coach Boeheim and the other coaches what did they want you to do? What did they want you to bring on the court for you to be able to play? Because we all know, sometimes guys like, I got to score. But in reality, that's not it. That's not it. You have to play a role. And what can you bring to this team that's going to add value? Did you know what your role was going to be or what you needed to bring to the table to get on the court and play and get an opportunity after those first few months of practice?
Just not really, but I kind of did, just knowing that once I got in the game, I was just going to give it all I got, not knowing how much, obviously beginning of the year wasn't even like barely seeing the floor. So just knowing every time I got in the game, and then once I believe it was like a 2-game stretch or a 3-game stretch or something like that, when I started getting in the game, I was just like, my dad was telling me, my mom and stuff, was just like, every time you get in the game, just, go as hard as you can every time, because, you never know, and then obviously Coach Ray was telling me the same thing. G-Mac just telling me, every time I get on the court, just go as hard as I can, run up and down the court, defense, getting rebounds, everything, just clean up everything around the rim, scoring and stuff, just being effective. So every time he was just telling me, obviously, because we definitely got a bench that everybody can play, is Benny, everybody. So just knowing that every time I got in the court, whenever my name was called, just being ready and just try and bring a spark and help the team as much as I can.
And talk about early on, bro, because it's different now. I guess when I was coming in, or other guys were coming in, freshmen didn't play a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's just, unless you were a McDonald's All-American, you came in, played. It was different situations for different guys. Obviously, you coming in, you're not playing a lot. Some guys might pout, they might do this and that, go back and tell guy, hey, I'm going through this. What was your mindset like, bro? Early on, you're not seeing a lot of minutes, coming from a lot of success in high school and AAU. We talked about you won 4 state championships in high school, freshman to senior year, coming to Syracuse, playing with a lot of highly talented guys, and then not seeing, the floor early on. What was your mindset, and how did you be able to work through that to where eventually, you did see an opportunity to play?
Definitely. I definitely had a chip on my shoulder the whole time. Just keep my head down and just kept pushing. Definitely was kind of frustrated beginning of the year, just not seeing the court and stuff.
But you would never, you could never tell. I just want to tell you this before you go. You could never tell you were frustrated, and I think that's it shows a lot about you, bro. Because a lot of guys' body language get really bad. You know what I'm saying? But you were a guy that you couldn't tell. You're a guy that you can't tell if you're playing really good or playing really bad, which is a very good attribute to have. You know what I mean? You got that poker face. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I definitely try to keep that the same the whole time. So just never show like not try to show my emotions. So just kept working hard. Just stay focused. Encourage my teammates definitely. And then when practice came, and just worked hard. Just kept doing what I can do just to show my game, and just lifting, obviously working out. And then when the game came, just waiting for my name to be called, or and if I wasn't, just still cheering my teammates on and just encouraging them to make sure that they would stay in focus. And then timeouts come, just telling them what I see from the side, like the bench side perspective, and just telling them like to help out on like defensive end, like just the coverage and everything. So just same way, like when I'm on the court and people on the bench, whatever, just the same thing. So it's definitely something that helps, like from the bench perspective. So yeah.
So I know one thing about Coach Boeheim. Once you start getting playing time, unless it's an injury or something, but once you start getting the opportunity, that opportunity came from somewhere, and it's usually from you putting in work in practice. Was that, were there some practices early on that you really had some good days, that put you into that spot where you had an opportunity to play in the game?
Definitely. It was definitely some practices where I had some really good days, and then I started doing stuff in practice, and then it was just like Coach Boeheim or like Coach Random telling me like plays after or practices later on. They wanted me to do this and do that, you know. So it was just definitely something that I seen. It was like coaches telling me I should do this, and just now knowing that what they want me to do, it was like definitely easier for me. So before that, just coming into practices, you know, just doing what like basically not doing whatever, but kind of just like, you know, just freestyling and just like doing this and doing that. But now since they're telling me they see me do something, now they like what I'm doing, so they just tell me what I should do. So now it's like I'm focused on trying to do what they tell me to do to get that one specific job done. So if it's like get a rebound, go get rebounds, or if it's get a steal or get a deflection or, you know, get a putback or something. Now that's what I'm like focused on, and it's just like definitely was locked in on that. So I definitely had a couple practices like where it went like that. It was definitely something that they kept telling me I should keep doing.
So you have those good practices, you get an opportunity in the game, you play well, you know, 12, you know, 11, 12 minutes, you get 8 points, you know, 5 boards. Then the next game you play 18 minutes, you know, 20 minutes, and then you get, you know, 10 and 8, and then you end up playing 30 minutes. Then you go to Georgia Tech and you have your career high, you get 18 points. Yeah, I guess at what point did you really figure out like, all right, bet this is what I need to do to stay on the floor, so I'm going to keep on doing it to 100, you know, to the best of my ability? What was that, you know, one thing that you're like, all right, bet this is what I need to bring every single time, regardless if I score 0 points or not? Because, you know, we could talk about the game versus Boston College. I think you had 2 points, but you played 38 minutes. You know what I mean? To be able to have 2 points in 38 minutes means you're doing a lot of other things that don't show up on the stat sheet. And I think that's huge with you. You do a lot of things that don't show up on the stat sheet. What one thing that really stood out in your mind was like, all right, this is working for me and this is going to keep me on the floor?
Definitely probably definitely my defensive end, like just, you know, getting deflections, steals, or rebounding and stuff. Just knowing that I believe I could guard anybody from the 1 through 5. Just having that mindset and just going out there on the court. Obviously, we're in the zone too, so but just knowing that when I like started getting that playing time and stuff, it was just like something that now is just like, all right, now I'm getting this playing time. So at first it was what I got to do to get on the court. Now it's my mindset was what I got to do. You know, now I'm in the game to stay on the court. So it was just like just be on the court and just working, like giving my full effort and stuff, just doing everything, and just, you know, obviously playing those couple games when I was playing like 36 minutes, 38 minutes, and then, you know, the last couple of games was like 40 or whatever. So just knowing that, not knowing at first, but then once I started to get to that stretch, it was just like, now I gotta like, because at first it was just like when I was coming to game, I was just like not using all my energy, but definitely using a lot of my energy and like sparks, because I was just trying to like come in the game and give a spark to like help my teammate as much as I can. But now it was like, you know, I was playing a lot of the like majority of the game or something. So now it was like I gotta like reserve some of my energy for like this or that. So now it was just like knowing or like how in different ways I can like be on the court and just find better positions, so I won't have to use my energy as much as I needed to when I first wasn't in. So now it's just like being aware of my spaces on the court and everything, and just finding my teammates in like spots they like to be found and stuff.
Yeah, and that's one thing I noticed. Your effort and energy is always there, but one thing that you have to have, especially playing the zone, because it's not a regular 2-3 zone, it's different rotations. You know, the communication piece comes in, and you got to be super active, but you got to have the IQ, right? And that's one thing that I noticed that you're really good at. I don't know if it just comes from being a 3-sport athlete, you know, just having to be in different positions, or you know, having the football, you know, being a football guy, you got to know a lot of different type of, you know, strategies. But that's one thing I noticed is you were really good at that back of the zone, you know, early on. Obviously you're not perfect, right? No one's going to be perfect, but you made up for a lot of those mistakes just from being active. Like you might have not known the rotation, but you know that, hey, if the guy's there wide open, I'm gonna bust my butt over there and get
Yeah.
there and make that rotation. How long did it really take for you to, I guess, figure out the zone, or are you still, trying to figure it out?
Definitely. I feel like it's always something that, if you hear it from Coach Boeheim or Coach Reid or something, it's always something that you definitely can learn from the zone. It's always something that, it's like I don't think you're ever going to like it's something that like it's something like perfect or something. It's always something like you can learn something or so I feel like I've definitely learned a lot already from the zone. So just being in spots and every team is different. So definitely just you gotta know your team, the matchups.
No doubt.
Yeah, so just going into the game and stuff, you got to know who you're prepping against, and just like if we're playing like against a Virginia team or like Virginia Tech or some other team that they got 3-point shooters not so far like sinking down or whatever. So then like when we play Florida State, obviously when we had that their center or whatever, he's 7'2", 7'3", the lob
Big
threat.
boy.
So yeah, so we they didn't shoot the ball that much, like they weren't a threat a threat to us that much from the 3-point line. So definitely something that we had to manage and move back down. So definitely something I've seen like from the second half, from especially from the forward positions. All of us forwards was like instead of being up higher up, we started moving back down lower. So the lob threat was definitely more limited in the second half than it was the first half. So it's definitely something that you know always um, you always want to like see, like it's always something that you can improve from the zone.
What do you think is the hardest part of the zone? Because you talked about having those shooters, and a lot of times, you talk about a guy, we'll say Devin Green or Darren Green, the guy from last night. He shot 17 threes, didn't make a lot, but he could shoot the ball, so he's gonna get guys out there extended. How hard is that when you're playing those shooters, but you also got those guys who are attacking those short corners to be able to? You got to get out there, and then if it goes in the high post, you got to drop all the way back down.
Yeah.
So you really got to be able to get up and then get back in a matter of a split second. How hard has that been to try to really learn that and know where you're supposed to be depending on where the ball is?
Yeah, it's definitely hard. So I mean, you just gotta be ready to definitely move. And one thing about Coach Boeheim, he always says is don't don't try to seek your energy for an offensive end, or don't just try to play defense so you get on offense. So obviously I'm not saying I already knew that, but just coming from like high school and stuff, like obviously I've had the same role and stuff. So just, you know, obviously I still think defense wins games. So defense is something to me that I'm taking more like opportunity and stuff on. So it's definitely something like when it comes to defense, I'm just more like, locked in and stuff. So when that happens, I guess just try to move as much as I can and just run back and forth just to keep them from getting a wide open three or easy drop down in the short corner. So just move my feet as much as I can and just making it harder for the offense to get an easy bucket.
Yeah, really. I mean, it's not rocket science, right? You got to be able to fucking move. You got to be active. I mean, you can get a lot of space because you're long and 2 steps, and you could be from the short corner to the top of the three in 2 steps, just using your speed and your athleticism.
Yeah,
bro. You're in the later part of your freshman year. I think there's 6 games left of the regular season, and obviously we got a conference tournament in Greensboro. You've dealt with Coach Boeheim, for almost a full year if you count the summer. What's the funniest shit you heard Coach Boeheim say?
uh, not, you would think Coach Boeheim would say a lot of funny stuff, but he definitely does, especially since I've been here for the summer. He said definitely a lot of crazy stuff and a lot of funny stuff. So it's definitely been something funny, to hear. One of the funniest things he probably said is something. He always says like, never in his 47 years has he seen like like a team that don't play defense, or he says something like either that, or he just he says something like if we have a in practice or scrimmaging, and like somebody makes a bad rotation, or like if I wasn't to like, if I see somebody in a short corner, I don't move and just like let them dunk it. Or if I see Joe about to get like a wide open three and I don't close out knowing that Joe's a good shooter and I don't contest it, he's gonna be like, never in my 47 years have I seen somebody not contest a good or something. So it's definitely something funny because he always switches it up, but it's definitely funny every time he says it.
But he always going to use that, not in my 47 years.
Yeah, not in my 47 years. Yeah, that's definitely the funniest part.
No doubt. Talk about this year's team a little bit, bro, because we're young. We got 6, 7 freshmen. You got Jesse and Joe, being the team veterans. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but it's you guys have lost a lot of close games and a lot of games that maybe down the stretch, a play here or there, it goes the other way. Instead of losing those games, we win those games. What are a few things that you guys think that you need to do to improve on to kind of string together some wins? You just got 2 road wins, Boston College and Florida State. What are some things you need to improve on? And then also, what are some things that you are doing well and that you got to continue to keep doing?
Definitely. I feel like what we need to improve on is definitely closing games, game situations. We have big games, or not even big games, but just teams that we obviously know. Everybody knows that we've had a couple games where it's come to the end and we haven't been able to finish it. So just knowing that we've been in very close to a lot of teams and stuff. So, or just knowing that that's what we need to do, finish our games off strong, and also not start the game off, slow. Like a couple games, we have started off the game started the game off getting like beat like down by 8 points or down by like 10 points, and then having to dig ourselves back out of a hole, like kind of like the rest of the first half, or putting ourselves in a situation that we don't want to be in and just digging our way back out, and then playing catch up rest of the game, and then it's like losing by like 2-3 points, and then or 4 points because you got a late game foul. So definitely something that we need to work on. And then obviously what I like about the team and stuff is our mindset and how we don't quit. We just no matter what, if we're winning by a lot or if we're losing by a lot, we just we're definitely not going to quit. Everybody on the team has that mentality from 1 through 14 players. Just everybody, whoever comes in the game definitely has the talent to, score or get a stop on defense. So just knowing that we have those type of players on our team is very good because everybody's encouraging each other, and just knowing that, somebody's not having a good night or something, we got somebody that can make a sub and they can come in and bring a spark, or, just being encouraging to each other, and just knowing that we just need to play our own games and just play as a team. The more we play as a team, just farther we're going to be able to go and just always have fun and stuff.
What NBA player do you think you would say your game is modeled after, if any, or would you see a little similarities in your game to somebody in the NBA? Who would that be?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know about that, but I don't know. I definitely heard that question a lot, and obviously as like my time and stuff has went on, I feel like my game has kind of changed and stuff. So just knowing that has changed and stuff. So I don't really know who I would either like try to model my game after in the NBA, or I don't really know who I see myself as anymore. Like, I don't know.
I think for me, I saw like a young a Jeremy Grant. I guess that was kind of the you had a similar skill set. I mean, early on, like right now, offensively, you're learning still. You're a little bit raw, but you got a knack for the basketball, being around the rim, just being in the right place at the right time. You're super athletic. You're versatile.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do a lot of stuff that people can't do. You know what I mean? That people, you have a lot of God-given abilities, and on top of that, you know how to play the basketball game, or the game of basketball. And I think Jeremy early on, he had those same attributes, and then obviously as he got to the league, his offensive game has exploded. So Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a guy that I saw you, kind of being like. I mean, that's not a bad comparison, a bad person to be compared with. He's making almost 100 million, so you know what I mean. But so I guess, at what point did you? I mean, if you had any of these thoughts of you being in the NBA, like, did you? Because I mean, I saw you play a few times, bro, and I didn't have to see you score 20 points. I could see what you would add to a team and what value you would add to a team at the next level. And you being able to guard every position, a guy who sprints the floor, a guy that's super athletic, has great hands, has great knowledge of the game. I mean, I said it early on, I think you'll be an NBA player. I guess, have you thought of yourself as an NBA player? And if you have, I guess, when did those thoughts really start to kick in?
Definitely. I mean, obviously, that's always been like my dream. Playing football or basketball. Just wanting to be in a professional, uh, in the league and stuff. So just obviously having that mindset for both sports. So once I started getting offers and stuff, and then once I got to college and stuff, it was just like now I'm here. So as my steps kept going on and like my next spot in my future, it was just like now it's just like just keep developing my game into however much I can to see how far it goes and see how long it takes and how it's going to help me to prepare myself to my future career.
So I know we're not done with this season, and I don't want to get too far ahead. But for you and yourself personally, what's something that you really want to develop and something that you really want to get better with, going into the later part of the year, or into the summer, into next year? What's something that you really want to develop?
Definitely. Definitely just keep working on my mid-range shot around the perimeter and stuff. Just being more aggressive around the rim. Just working on my shot and just being able to being able to put the ball on the ground and stuff. So just keep working on the little things and stuff, and just obviously keep adding stuff into my bag and stuff, and just keep developing my game as much as I can so it can make me a better overall player.
Okay, bro, here we go. We got some good questions coming up. We're gonna get outside a hoop a little bit. All right. So your favorite place to eat in the Cuse is where?
My favorite place to eat in the Cuse is probably Carrabba's.
Carrabba's, yo. Carrabba's, you got all these great local spots, and you
I
gonna
know.
choose Carrabba's, yo.
Yeah, Carrabba's probably got it.
Carrabba's got it. What's your go-to there?
It's I don't even know what it's called. It's like it's a shrimp and Alfredo, but I don't know what it's.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy though.
Okay. We're gonna, you know what? We're gonna have to get you to some local spots that is fire. We're gonna put you on. I know you're gonna be up here in the summer. We're gonna put you on.
Definitely.
Who is the best athlete in the family? That's a hard question, bro. And I'm sure we'd have a lot of different answers depending on who we ask.
But in the family, I definitely gonna say me. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna say me.
Now would everyone else agree with that, or who would say who else would be?
Everybody else in my family would probably say probably my dad, and then my dad would probably say my sister. So, well, my dad, and my mom would probably say my sister, but everybody else probably say my dad. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
we might have to get your sister on, because from what you saying, she definitely saying it as her.
Yeah, say it was her too.
No doubt. So, bro, something that you're really good at, or something that you want to be good at outside of basketball?
Something that I would be good at.
Or something that when you're done hooping, you want to pursue. You know what I mean? Business wise, whatever it is, man.
Definitely. Business wise, just start my own business or whatever, and just help and provide for much as people like back home and stuff. Start off there, just go from there, and just do as much as I can.
So maybe after you get to the league, start a foundation, the Maliq Brown Foundation. Help kids who maybe are underserved youth, and get into some AAU teams, start camps, things like that type of thing.
Definitely, yeah.
That's dope. That's dope right there. All right, bro. Last question I got for you, man. And I asked everyone before we hop off. So you were an underrated guy growing up, and I said that you weren't as highly touted, but I think that a lot of times that's a good path to have, because you could creep up on people just like you did this year. You crept up on a lot of people, and they didn't really expect, you to play like you're playing. You're having an outstanding freshman year. What are some things or some advice that you would have for the younger kids growing up who want to play in college at a high level or want to play pro at a high level? What are some things that they need to do, and some advice that you have for them?
Definitely, whatever you dream of, whatever you want to do, just stick to it. Don't let outsiders or other people's opinion affect your dreams or your decision making. Always go back, always have a small circle, and just always depend on what your own opinion is, but also listen to the people that's inside your circle that's always been there with you, like growing up. Not just the people that's with you when you just got this offer or when you go where you want to go this place or something. Look back to the people that's been there since day one before before you even got your first trophy or whatever. So just keeping the same your same opinion and stuff, keep your same goals and stuff, and just making sure you have a small circle, just to have somebody to look back forward to.
No doubt, bro. One thing I could say about you, bro, you're a humble young man. You got a bright future ahead of you, bro. You work hard. So I'm rooting for you, man, and I'm excited for your future. But we definitely gonna have to get your sister on, man, because I want to hear what she got to say, man. She definitely talking some shit.
She definitely would.
That's what's up. That's what's up. But bro, I appreciate you hopping on, man. Keep doing your thing. Good luck the rest of the year. I'll definitely see you. I'll see you soon, probably, man. Hopefully, I could do another game on the radio. But we'll get you on again down the road. Hopefully, talking about you entering the NBA draft or something like that, huh?
Mm-hmm. All right, bet.
That's what's up, bro. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Definitely appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
No doubt.